Hello there guys, Paperalbe 10,000 here, bringing you episode 5 of Rate Their Chances Season 2. The series where we rate the chances for potential newcomers making it into the DLC Fighter Pack roster for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, as inspired by the thread of the same name over on Smashboards, which you can find in the description. If you haven't checked out our previous episodes yet and you want to play catch-up, click the link in the top right corner to check out the full Rate Their Chances playlist. Or if you don't have time to watch a few videos, click the link in the description that takes you to the Rate Their Chances spreadsheet, letting you know all of my ratings as of this episode for Season 2. So, it's been 2 weeks since my last episode, and I'm sure many of you gave up on ever seeing this series again, and look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I lost all motivation for the series through January for a variety of different reasons. Firstly, January is the worst month for ad revenue on YouTube because advertisers pull out after Christmas, so I felt it would be better to not post videos I knew would do well, because it would just be kind of wasting your guys' attention, and it wouldn't really help me out that much. The other being that I'm kinda tired of just editing the same thing week in, week out, hence why I started a new series called So I Just Finished, a pseudo-guide review series with some great games, memes, and a whole lot of work put in, and it's really cool. I'd personally recommend the most recent Captain Toad episode, as it's the easiest to digest, though I'm super proud of the Hyperlight Drifter episode, and the links will be in the top right corner. They're really cool, go check them out. For more info on why it took so long for this video specifically to come out though, check my community tab on the channel. The first major post there will explain everything in my classic passive-aggressive, overly snarky way that you'll know and hopefully love. So anyway, today's 4 characters we will be rating are Dante from the Devil May Cry series, suggested by Mr. GameSir and many others, with 292 likes in the last episode's comments, the most liked comment out of the lot. Amaterasu from Okami, suggested by Blake the Nerd, with 175 likes. Solaire from Dark Souls, suggested by GizGiz Elias, with 102 likes. And Spyro from the Spyro the Dragon series, suggested by Liam Sal, with 93 likes. If you guys want to see your own character rated, make sure to leave a comment down below with the name of the character you want to see rated. Only 1 character per comment though, and if you're one of the 4 most liked comments, your character will be rated. And I'll only be selecting comments from this specific video. Please don't go onto my Persona 5 or Smash Classic Mode videos asking for a character to be rated. I will ignore you. Please don't do it. I beg of you. And remember before we start that this series is mainly just my opinion, a bit of research, a bit of gut feelings, and a bit of fun. I don't reflect the views of Sakurai, the Smash team, Nintendo, or anyone except myself. If you disagree with my ratings or you just want to share your thoughts, let me know what you would have rated each character down below in the comments, but let's keep things civil and positive. It's a video game at the end of the day, guys. Without further ado, let us begin. One of the most requested characters who never got the spotlight in Season 1, Dante from the Devil May Cry series is one of gaming's most recognizable figures, at least if you're a fan of the hack and slash genre. Games like Bayonetta and the newer Ninja Gaiden games have Devil May Cry to thank for starting up their genre, and throughout it all, Dante has been quite the popular character among fans. Now, my best guess right now is that Dante is popular with you guys because Devil May Cry 5 is coming out this year, and so he's on everyone's minds. And that's a fair assessment. We know that the DLC fighter roster was finalized by November last year, and the new DMC game was announced at E3 last year, so there would be tons of time for Capcom to go to Sakurai and say, hey, Dante for Smash, let's go. With Bayonetta in Smash translating her game style perfectly, there's no reason why Dante wouldn't also translate pretty damn well given he's got a similar fighting style, just without the extreme sensual nature of Bayonetta. He's got a variety of weapons and skills from across the many games he's appeared in, so I'm not gonna debate whether he's got a moveset, he definitely does. But now we have to think about two aspects when it comes to Dante potentially being in Smash. One, will Capcom be getting another character? And two, who does Dante have to fight off in order to become the new Capcom character? Well, taking a look at Capcom's overall representation in the Smash Bros. Franchise, it's safe to say they're the most well-represented third party in the game. With Mega Man, Ryu, and Ken as fighters, and with Mega Man and Street Fighter getting a massive boost in music tracks this time around, plus the Rathalos from the Monster Hunter series being a boss and an assist trophy in Ultimate, and with Zero, Wily Capsule, and Guile as assist trophies, and having the most spirits out of any third party and being the only company to have Master Spirits attributed to their franchises. Yeah, it's safe to say that Capcom is very much in a good position. If any company could leverage another character, I think Capcom certainly has the best bet of the current companies connected to the project, simply because they've got the most in-game content, meaning they were probably the easiest to work with to get that content in the game in the first place. The idea of a new Capcom rep is on the cards. But Dante does have a lot of competition from two franchises in particular, at least in my opinion. Could be completely different opinion for you guys. Firstly, the Ace Attorney franchise. Phoenix Wright has been a request for a very long time, and has a good legion of fans to back up his inclusion, plus with the Ace Attorney games having long supported Nintendo's consoles, it's safe to say he could be in contention. The other franchise, one that some might scoff at, is Resident Evil. With the RE2 remake coming out just last month, the franchise is on people's minds, and it's a survival horror juggernaut, and one of Capcom's best franchises at the moment. If Smash could find a way to get a real survival horror character into Smash, Resident Evil will probably be the series to do so, seeing as Fatal Frame got assist trophied. So Dante's competing with some tough competition, and his major argument people have been making being his new game could be countered as Ace Attorney is releasing a Switch bundle of the first 3 games, while as mentioned before, RE2 just released, meaning all these franchises can fit the bill of being a potential marketing pick. Now, it doesn't actually help Dante's case that the creator of Devil May Cry literally said Dante wasn't in the game, at least for the base roster, on Twitter, and we don't know if that carries over to DLC, nor do we know if that's simply him trying to avoid an NDA, but I do think Devil May Cry is near the top of the list of Capcom properties we could see next in Smash, be it in Ultimate or 10 years down the line in the next Smash game. With all of this in mind, Dante gets a chance score of 50%. Dante is very much a 50-50 character. I could go either way with this guy, but I don't think he's the most likely Capcom representative to get the call. I still think Phoenix Wright has a better shot than Dante at this time, and as I gave Phoenix a 60% in episode 2, I had to go lower for Dante. As for a want score, I'd give Dante a 55%. I've messed with Devil May Cry in the past, but I can't say I'm a fan of the series. I know it, I respect it, but do I love it? I gotta admit though, he's got a cool design, assuming they don't go with his newer, older variant, and instead use his iconic design from the first 3 games. Oh, God forbid they don't pick Dante and go with the main character from the reboot nobody liked. Yikes. For our second Capcom representative today, let's take a look at Amaterasu from Okami. Though, if I'm being completely honest, a majority of what I said in the last segment also applies here, so let's do a very quick recap. Capcom has a big shot at getting a new character due to the amount of content they've already contributed to the game as a whole, but could Amaterasu be one of the potential candidates? Well, back in Season 1, I gave Ami a 10% chance score, as I really didn't think she had a shot for the base game, despite the release of Okami HD on the Switch. Amaterasu is a highly requested character who has appeared in Marvel vs. Capcom, so there's a precedent for fighting game appearances. The issue right now is whether Okami's franchise is worth visiting for this DLC. I already listed in the last segment that I don't think Okami is one of the top 3 candidates at Capcom, but I do think Okami is probably the next best thing if none of those 3 make it in. Ami would bring a very stylized playstyle and would be a rare character that fights on all 4 legs rather than the standard 2 legs we see from most Smash characters. She's also got an aesthetic that's so unique that translating it into Smash could produce some interesting results, and due to her game's look, you can imagine that an Okami stage would be breathtaking and beautiful in Smash. If Nintendo and Sakurai are looking for characters that really push the design of a game forwards, it's safe to say Okami and Ami would be the perfect franchise and character to draw inspiration from, more so than the other Capcom franchises mentioned. Okami is just so stylized that anyone would be drawn in by the art style. It also helps Ami that she has quite the fanbase behind her, and seeing her inclusion would be pretty exciting, given we could get some celestial brush techniques in her moveset that I'd love to see acted out in a Smash fight. Since we went all over Capcom in the last segment, I'm gonna keep this segment short and sweet. While I may not consider her a top 3 in Capcom's potential franchise roster, I think the aesthetic and what Ami could bring make up for the fact that Okami isn't exactly at the heights of Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, or Ace Attorney. So, Ami gets a chance score of 50%. Yep, that's right, Ami is just like Dante. She is a character I could see happening if the stars align. She's a character that oozes creativity, and for someone like Sakurai, there could be a well of ideas to pull from for a moveset, a stage, and some brilliant music. And that's what kind of keeps her in the same spot as Dante rather than below him. As for a want score, Ami gets an 85%, a 10% boost from Season 1 because, thinking about it, Amaterasu really is a character I would adore in Smash. Definitely someone I'm hoping to see make the jump in one way or another. Okay, I completely understand why people want me to rate Solaire from Dark Souls 1. That being said, as a Souls fan, I also completely understand that the only reason people want me to rate Solaire is because to an audience who may have never played the Souls series before, Solaire is the only character they know because praise the sun memes and he got an amiibo. What I'm trying to say is, Solaire isn't even the best NPC character in the Souls games, nor is his skill set that amazing nowadays. He's got a shield, a sword, and lightning bolts, but is that enough for a real moveset? I'm surprised nobody is looking at the main character from the Dark Souls games, what with how main characters in each game tend to be known by a certain set of armor that's usually on the box art. Solaire, for what it's worth, has an amiibo and is probably one of the most popular NPCs from the Soulsborne series. He's got a lovely voice, loves the sun, enjoys jolly cooperation, and has one of the more tragic stories from the first game if you don't know about the Lost Izalith secret entrance. That being said, is Solaire really a good representative of the Soulsborne series when it comes to Smash? I really don't think so. His moveset is limited to what we've seen from our brief battle against him in Dark Souls 1, or the times he's worked with us against a boss, and compared to any of the main characters from each game who can be endlessly customized, Solaire doesn't really ooze creativity. People tend to make the assumption that Sakurai can make a moveset out of any character that's interesting and unique, but when I personally look at Solaire, I don't really see a moveset for Smash that stays true to his unique character because, sure, we could just add a whole bunch of powers to him from each of the Souls games to fill out his moves, but then he wouldn't be Solaire. And then you'd get the thought, why didn't they just use the main character of the series instead? Am I being too harsh on Solaire? Maybe, but as a massive Soulsborne fan who's played every game except Demon Souls because I never owned a PS3 and goddammit, why can't we get a re-release on current gen consoles? I just feel like Solaire is a very bad pick for the franchise. He's well known, but does he really embody what Dark Souls is? And on top of that, will they actually pick a Dark Souls character when Bandai Namco still has Tekken as a franchise to pick from? So yeah, with that in mind, Solaire is getting a chance score of 5%. I really don't think we'll be getting a Souls character myself, and while Solaire does have a minuscule chance due to his ties with Bandai Namco, I really don't think it's enough to justify a character slot on the roster, regardless of how big Dark Souls as a franchise has become in a few short years. And as for a want score, Solaire scores a pretty low score of 25%. I'm a Souls fan, but I'd rather have the Chosen Undead, or maybe someone like Ornstein who could bring a spear-type weapon to the game, than Solaire who just feels like the basic choice. I knew I'd be rating him at some point once Crash was out of the picture. Yep, today we're taking a look at the Purple Dragon, Mr. Spyro. A character that everyone knows I adore, and a character that has ties with Nintendo thanks to his many appearances on Nintendo consoles. At least when you compare him to his compatriot Crash, Spyro has had more Nintendo appearances under his belt, mainly thanks to the Skylanders series giving him a boost. As a character, he's got various elemental breaths, a charge attack, a head bash, as well as other abilities from his various appearances, that creating a moveset for this character isn't a difficult prospect in the slightest. However, back in Season 1, I gave him a 0% chance. I didn't think he was going to happen, and, well, has that changed this time around? Spyro, while he may be a popular mascot and an iconic video game character, I can't ignore that the elephant in the room is that no matter how popular Spyro is, he is almost always overshadowed by Crash Bandicoot, the unofficial mascot of the PlayStation 1. Now, from a personal standpoint, I think Spyro is the better character, but from an unbiased opinion, Crash has always had the lead when it came to public opinion, even if Spyro's series fared a little bit better than Crash's did post-PS1. Spyro right now is owned by Activision, who don't have a foot in the door for Smash Brothers, and you have to wonder whether this company will actually be approached by Nintendo when it might be easier to stick with the local companies in Japan for new characters in Smash. Yes, it's the return of everyone's least favorite debate, the Western argument. I do think we'll get a character from a Western developer though, but with 4 slots left, I imagine at most we'll get maybe 2 characters from the West, and I just don't see Activision in that equation when Microsoft and Bethesda have both shown interest in Smash themselves, Microsoft just recently making a very interesting tweet. Activision just isn't the powerhouse it used to be back in the 90s and 2000s either, and you all know my opinions on this company's chances if you watch the Crash episode. So rather than rehash the same information, I'll refer you to that specific episode to check out my thoughts on Activision and leave it there. You can check that in the top right corner. With that in mind though, does Spyro have a shot? As much as I dislike this fact, Spyro won't be getting into Smash at least until after Crash Bandicoot, given one simply has more presence with Nintendo and their fans at this moment in time. And thus, Spyro gets a chance score of 4%. Many people thought I'd be biased and rate Spyro higher than Crash, but I know full well who's got the better shot, even if I don't think either character will be making it in, at least in this first season of DLC. As for a want score, y'all know Spyro gets a 100%. He's one of my most beloved video game characters of all time. I adored his return in the Reignited trilogy, even if they did make a few changes I don't agree with, and I want to see this character get the recognition he and his games deserve, and let him step out of Crash Bandicoot's shadow. So that is episode 5 of Rate Their Chances. Hopefully my opinions aren't too controversial this time around, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to leave your thoughts down below, and please consider checking out my So I Just Finished series, which I'm creating almost weekly, except this week, because this video came out instead. Next week I'm going to be doing a Resident Evil 2 So I Just Finished, so that's going to be really fun. And the week after that, I might be doing Kingdom Hearts 3, so keep an eye out. I want to give a shout out to all my patrons over on Patreon. You guys are awesome. Your support keeps me going every time we create content, and I am so grateful for all of you. If you want to become a patron yourself and get a shout out at the end of each video and in the description, check the link in the description or click the Patreon image that shows up on the end screen, and you'll be taken to the site where you can check stuff out there. So thanks for watching, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.